Tips for recognizing you are in a toxic relationship. This is a common question: what are the effects of emotional abuse? Well, the simple answer that an abusive partner will wear down a woman's personality, self-confidence, and leave her in a state of overall ill health. But you can recover, in time, and love your life again. Point one thing is for sure: when an emotionally abused woman looks in the mirror, she doesn't see herself. Looking back at her is a damaged stranger. Someone whose personality has been dismantled brick by brick. Many experts believe there is a hidden epidemic of toxic love. Anyone who suffers constantly from verbal insults and emotional battering is bound to end up confused, depressed, weary, hopeless, and self-destructive. That's not to mention the effects of discounting, sneering, and belittling body language. These behaviors undermine self-confidence, leading to a sense of disorientation and desperation. You may well have seen this happening to a friend or have experienced it yourself. Over time, the soul-destroying effects of controlling, fear-inducing emotional abuse leaves a woman incapable of trusting her own judgment. Here's a quick checklist to help you decide if you or a close friend are in a toxic love situation. Answer yes or no to each of the following statements. I often doubt my own decisions and opinions nowadays. I feel lonely and sad even though I'm in a relationship. I hate myself when my partner is angry with me. I blame myself when things go wrong between us. I'm gradually neglecting myself physically. I'm not able to sleep or eat normally. I often have sex when I don't want to. He often rejects me when I do want sex. I obsess over the problems in our relationship and it's affecting my work. I don't know what to say to other people unless I check it with him. I feel worthless. I'm lacking in motivation because he lets me know that I'm not good enough. I can't concentrate properly these days. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I'm grateful to my partner for putting up with me. I feel deeply flawed as a woman. I don't feel loved even though, when things are good, he says he loves me. I'm frightened and anxious a lot of the time. I worry constantly about upsetting him. I'm ashamed of myself because he keeps reminding me that I should be. I feel guilty all the time because I know I keep making stupid mistakes. If someone asks me what is wrong, I don't know what to say. I'm relying on alcohol/drugs/tobacco more and more to get me through the night. I get so angry, sometimes I lash out at things or people. I think I'm going mad. If you answered yes to 3 or more of these statements, the chances are you, or a friend if you are answering for them, are already suffering from the cruel effects of traumatic bonding. What is traumatic bonding? Put simply, it's a form of PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a syndrome that causes long-term damage to your self-esteem. That's because it creates deep psychological wounds that are constantly being reinforced by your own mind. You don't do it on purpose, and it is not your fault. If a person you love thinks you are worthless, in the end you just agree with them. Unconsciously at least, you must never feel guilty if you've been emotionally abused. Remember, it's not a sign of weakness. To tolerate vile emotional and verbal abuse over time is paradoxically a sign of strength and courage. You have the strength to love under fire. And the courage to keep hoping that things will improve. However, perhaps it's time you summoned the strength to leave him. The courage to change your life. There is help out there. Help to move on. And help to recover. In the long term, a woman who is being emotionally abused will cease to feel she exists as a real person. She is not whole. She is broken and scattered. This leaves her vulnerable, depressed, withdrawn, and lacking in enthusiasm. Her love of self is gone, and with it, her love of life. It's like she becomes an emotional punch bag soaking up whatever blows come her way. She believes she deserves it. Other effects are a feeling that you just can't cope with life. On the medical side, you may well end up with serious clinical depression, generalized anxiety disorder, or obsessive-compulsive disorder. An abuser works at his game of power and control until he bullies his partner into a state of helplessness. Unable to convince herself she is worth anything, she feels as though on some level, she has ceased to be alive in any real sense. Isolated, defeated, and ashamed. It's a living hell, and it's often something you can't talk about. After all, who is going to take you seriously? Often, abusive men seem charming and productive to the outside world. Add to that the fact that he'll use the fallback position of all bullies when it comes to women, telling other people that you're crazy. Sadly, many women with abusive partners consider suicide as a viable option. What worse damage could one human being do to the soul and wellness of another? As I said, there is help out there. First, it's important to understand that abusers rarely change. You only have the power to change your life. Leaving is always hard, but it's the healthiest thing to do. Finding a good therapist is useful. There are other things you can do too. Move to another town. Take a course in a subject you always wanted to before you were with him. Travel inwards, to the heart of yourself, and rediscover who you are. Healing writing helps many women during this phase. In fact, this part of the journey can be truly amazing and life-enhancing. And once you've got through, reach out to other women if you can. Reach out a listening ear, a helping hand. Make your experience count.